hi everyone. My name is Nicholas. I'm the Technical Product Manager with RedHat. I work in the APAC Office of Technology based in Singapore. And Ansible is one of the solutions I take care of. Right, today I'll be covering an overview of RedHat Ansible automation platform for IBM Power Systems. I'll be highlighting some key features and use cases for using Ansible for Power Systems automation. Before we dive in, let me talk a little about Ansible automation. The first and foremost, Ansible, what we are talking about will be all about automation. Long gone are the days where we install something, we configure it, and we repeat that task. Right? Today, right, we tend to like to automate things if we want to get things efficient very fast. An example would be you may think about deploying a whole bunch of logical partitions, right? Install software on a host or maintain the security posture of your systems, right? All these tasks will lend themselves very nicely to automation. I believe many of these things you repeat them and you constantly and you repeat them very frequently as well, right? So it's as easier as having an automation to take care of this. And the important point down here is that on top of all this, right, of your day job, right, I believe that you need to consistently maintain and work on all these tasks as well. So being able to run them efficiently, on demand, and consistently all the time would be very, very helpful for you to be at the top of your game. So what problems does Ansible really solve for you? The Ansible project, right? So when we say Ansible, the project itself is actually the upstream community open source project, right? And it basically started out to solve problems in configuration management, solving tools like how to manage operating systems at scale and how to maintain them at a good security posture. And you want to make sure that all these fixes are correctly installed. And Ansible has evolved over I would say, the last 5 years, right? So Ansible has a very short, I mean, it was born 5 years ago, right? So it's pretty modern and has been able to make itself very relevant to the current use cases that modern administrators or modern infrastructures have, right? And we keep on expanding the overall set of use cases that we can tap in. So on top of configuration management for operating system, right, it's expanded into the hybrid cloud and multi-cloud, right? So orchestrating things in the public cloud, like in IBM Cloud today, IBM Cloud for Power System would be very, very easy, right? And tasks like provisioning cloud resources, orchestrating VM deployments using PowerVC, much like how many of our customers are doing on the x86 side, right? You can actually do it, right, for VMware estates, for Power Systems as well, right? And clients that have invested in IBM mainframe ZOS, they could also start orchestrating Z deployments through Cloud Infrastructure Center as well. So it allows you to start provisioning VMs both on premises and in the public cloud data center, like Power System virtual servers, right, very easily. And all these are available in IBM public cloud. However, it doesn't stop there, right? You can do things like deploying applications. So that's one of the most important part, right? Taking care of infrastructure, doing that only would not be helpful enough and productive enough. The important thing in this entire session, when I start talking about Ansible automation, you can think of it as automation like a glue that ties up different pieces of your infrastructure and applications all together. They may be very different, right? Heterogeneous. However, Ansible is like glue. It can become sort of like the automation middleware that connects your heterogeneous infrastructure from on-premise to public cloud, maybe private cloud, all together very easily. So typically, the first thing a customer will do after they initially install or set up a new AirPower, what do they do? They are likely going to make sure that correct patches are installed, right? Last time when I was doing a lot of AIX, right, I had my whole set of tools. I'll set up my VI client, all the shortcuts, right? I'll partition certain file system so that I can store some of my scripts, right? And today, many administrators probably will also install other open source software, ISD software, or perhaps their own enterprise software, right? Like, no, you want to run SAP, right? And many like DB2, right? Many of these things can be set up, right? And that will be one of those first things that you will tackle, right? Ansible has a very nice set of capabilities to roll out software, new software, right? And it's very popular in CI/CD, I would say continuous delivery and continuous integration environments. And for those same reasons, orchestration and integration of automation with security products, right? Some of the other ways Ansible can be applied to a data center. So its capabilities are far and wide and is relevant in many use cases and areas. Right, and one of the latest things that we are doing is to tie up security automation. So we integrate very well with IBM, SOAR, Resilient, and QRadar as well. If you are talking about SIEMs, right, event management solutions, right. So we tie in very well to many of these solutions. So when we talk about Ansible as such a prevalence tool among IT professionals, right, we like to actually very quickly point out to you these three pillars. Why you want to use Ansible? First thing, why Ansible is so popular now? Because Ansible is very simple, right? It's very human readable. If you're used to reading a storybook, right, things are very much written similar to the way you read a storybook, right? I mean, many people, they start from the content page and they read the chapter by chapter, right? Paragraph by paragraph. And that's how Ansible automation is written in this way, right? And Ansible code, in our terminology, we call that Ansible playbooks, right? And it's written in what we call YAML syntax, right? And everything is written in plain text. You do not need to have any sort of additional tools to be able to read Ansible code. You will just load up fine in a text editor, and everything is executed from the top to bottom, which makes reading and understanding it very much easy, right? And all the syntax that we use in fact, is just a markup language, which if you know a bit about HTML, it look very similar, right? And that's basically why it's able to get all our users, the community, adopted it so fast. Because it's very easy to get started and it's very easy to get productive on the very first day. So you do not need to actually learn the entire set of its syntax just to make it useful for you. In the very beginning, you can be very focused and look at a certain thing, get it started, and we have plenty of examples to get you started very fast. In fact, we encourage people to copy and paste Ansible code so you can get productive pretty fast, very quickly. And that's what makes it so simple to get started in Ansible. Ansible is also very powerful, as in it has so many tools built underneath that allows it to become a very powerful cross-platform tool. Right? It uses PowerShell and to help our customers who are running a Windows environment. Right? It integrates very well with desired state configuration management, domain administration, to allow you to scale up application deployment in the Windows environment, for example. Right? And commonly a lot of our users use it as an orchestration tool for multi-tier application deployment. And that's truly the part where you tie the glue, or I mean, it truly becomes the glue for all these things. So it binds all these multiple processes. And the winner here is agentless, right? Because in today's world, everything is quite secure, I would say, right? You wouldn't want to actually introduce a new client just to manage your infrastructure all over again. Now, imagine if you want to introduce something for application, introduce something for different clouds, right? You need to set up the client and the agent each and every time. That is very, very painful. Ansible started using agentless approach. So as long as you have SSH or Windows box, you can get started very, very fast, right? And the important thing here is that if there's no agent, there is no attack surface to exploit, right? Which makes getting started with Ansible very, very fast. Okay, so this is the winner down here, right? Agentless infrastructure, which means once you stand up your infrastructure, you can start automating it, right? There's very, very little for you to set up to get Ansible to start automation for you, which is if you are looking at the speed of automation, right? This is an important part, right? And this has always been a stumbling block for anyone doing automation, right? And without agents, it just makes things faster and easier. And it's not we say, right? Operators and admins in the community, no, they see, I would say, even folks like analysts like Forrester, right? They believe that IT automation is critical to success. And I hope you feel that as well, because Forrester believes that automation is a key strategy for leadership, right, to achieve digital transformation. Right, the analyst firm recognized Red Hat as one of the 4 leaders in this highly competitive environment, highly competitive infrastructure automation platforms wave. Right, the analyst has seen that when customer wants to achieve digital transformation, they insist they want to have multiple tools, and this is a challenge. Right, and what Red Hat does is that it lets customer have a holistic tool to rationalize all these unwanted tools. Right, you can't keep on maintaining and having so many different tools just to solve different needs. Right, and it's worth noting that in this analyst wave, right, Forrester wave, Red Hat is the only solution that exclusively harness the pace of innovation. We are one of the top 10 open source community project now, and it allows all our users to very quickly leapfrog over our competitors. And the important thing here is that it gives our customer the freedom to remain independent and very agile in this multi-vendor heterogeneous world. So let's very quickly review some terminology down here. Right, the first item is called the control node. So whenever we talk Ansible, essentially this is the controller that allows us to run the automation playbooks, right? The scripts and the code you have written, right? And this is executed from the control node, right? And currently it supports Red Hat Enterprise Linux on x86 host, right? And what's supported now is Red Hat Enterprise Linux on x86. This is what's supported in the enterprise version. Right, then you have the manage node. Right, you have the manage node. Right, the manage node, sometimes we call the endpoint device. This basically is the location where the Ansible modules are performing the automation. Right, so the endpoint device is basically what I will call the target. Right, so if you want to perform an automation, maybe AIX, IBM-I, Linux, ZOS, Windows, this is the manage node, right? And then we have the Ansible inventory. So Ansible inventory is just a list of managed nodes, right? Primarily, it consists of a list of IP address. That's how Ansible understands, and that's how Ansible can reach it. right? Everything we talk through the network IP address. So if you have a network IP address, this is how Ansible needs to reach it, and that's how Ansible communicate with, right? So it's the address book in Ansible speak, right? And when we talk about Ansible, we always talk about modules. So modules are just pieces of pre-created code, right? It's a piece of code which you use it, right? You continue to use it. When we write Ansible code, we don't write the code itself, right? We actually write or declare the modules we are going to use. You never really have to actually write the code because we take existing modules and we just fill them up with what we want to do. So you never really need to write the actual code, right? Because you don't need to, it's pre-written for you. And all these pre-written codes are in the form of modules, right? So you just string all these modules together and you execute them, right? And then this is the automation, right? And every task, right, make use of a module, right? So each task is a module. So in that case, we attach a module to a task and we execute each task. That's just how it goes, right? From top to bottom, task 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 1,000, right? And all these things ultimately get rolled up into what we call Ansible playbook, right? So there's a playbook, and within there you have tasks, and each task makes use of modules, and you talk to the targets, the managed node using the address book, which is the inventory. So this is how the whole thing looks like, right? One important thing I want to list down here is the Ansible automation platform features. So in a high level, this is an overview of all the features available, right? And it's all included in the enterprise subscription. So if you purchase a RedHat subscription for Ansible automation platform, you do not need to choose features. Everything is included within the subscription. All the features, right? We do not we do not have a different subscription to turn on different features of the enterprise version of the software, right? Everything is included within one single subscription. The difference is there's only one standard subscription or a premium subscription. Standard being is 9 to 5 office hours support. Premium subscription is 24/7. So that's the difference, right? And you can pick and choose all and use all the features within the platform. So single subscription for one single platform, right? So just so you don't need to actually fret about what you need to use, right? And important thing here to take note here is it includes all the SaaS feature, right? So there are also a lot of other features that allow you to link up your Ansible automation platform to the RedHat SaaS. So within the SaaS, you could have a single point of view for all automation jobs and perform automation analysis, right? So this is done by automation analytics on the right-hand side bottom, right? It allows you to give you ROI report based on how much savings you have for running the automation. So it allows you to give a very nice report to your management to justify your investment in automation, right? So this is the only thing I would like to highlight. There are a lot of many things which I wouldn't have time to cover, right? Because I want to actually go into the exciting part of the demo by Rahul. And I like to point out down here is that Ansible automation is just not talking about IBM Power Systems, right? Because within IBM Power Systems, right, there are applications running within them, and there are networking, which you need to hook up to a networking switch, a firewall, maybe a container management solution, container management platform, storage, various other things. It may actually hook up to other clouds as well, right? Or from the cloud to on-premises. So many of these things, it can be done with Ansible automation, and they can be done in a very smooth flow as well, right? So from orchestrating, managing, deploying applications, provisioning them, deliver them continuously, secure, and have compliance for them as well. So many things, right? So it's kind of like automation glue to make to expose, right, all the IBM Power Systems, right, to the whole landscape of other infrastructure and hook them up in a very nice flow, right? For IBM systems, right, IBM Power Systems. An important thing here for you to take note that the Ansible automation platform is the enterprise graphical control for Ansible estate. So if you're running Ansible, right, this is the platform you are going to look at. So there's a smaller picture over there, and the supported, commercially supported endpoints are all listed here for IBM, right? So you get commercial support. So when you purchase the Ansible automation platform subscription, you get commercial support from RedHat, right? Commercial support for IBM Power Systems, which has AIX, I series, all these. And for Linux, currently is community supported, but they're working hard to get it commercialized as well, right? So just very quickly, an overview down here is that when you purchase a RedHat automation, Ansible automation subscription, what you get is enterprise certified content as well, right? Because you will get enterprise support. So for all the content that is coming out from IBM, AIX, that is coming out from IBM-I collection, all these are fully supported and certified by RedHat, right? Which means that if you call us for a problem, right, we won't know, you will get the SLA for the same SLA, high SLA for support, right? And I think I've accidentally, and this will sort of actually just repeat what I've mentioned, right? So there's a whole collection of AIX common tasks that you want to perform on endpoints, right? Many of these modules are already available on Ansible Automation Hub, and this is the place where you can find certified content from IBM, right? So if you have a subscription, this is the secure place to get that content, because you can be fully confident that they are fully supported by RedHat, and you run into any problem, right, you can call us, right? And there are many use cases, like I think Rahul will go over some of these, right? Many of these common tasks, if you're a AIX administrator, this will be very familiar with you. The same support is afforded to IBM-I as well. So common tasks, right? I'm not an I guy, I'm a AIX guy. So, but all these same level of support is afforded to I series as well, right? So certified content is found there. Call RedHat if you have a problem, right? If you have a subscription from RedHat, right? And these are the many other use cases, right? And the most important thing here is that this shouldn't be the end where you want to find out about from RedHat Ansible, right? I would like to request that you reach out to us if you have any questions. And there are also a couple of links which we'll send out after this session for you to find out more about using Ansible for AIX, using Ansible for IBM-I, right? And if you just do a Google search or search on YouTube, you'll find a lot of materials for automating network devices, public cloud, AWS, Azure, containers, network devices, security devices, right? So there's a lot of this material out there, right? But we'll send across some other links to get you started very quickly, right? And with that, I would like to hand over to my friend, Rahul, who will actually run a quick demo for you. Rahul, over to you.
Thanks, Nick. In this part of the session, we are going to talk about one of the Ansible use case, which I had written. that is automation of AIX post-install task. I'm sure most of you would have worked on AIX. If someone is new to AIX, AIX is IBM's operating system, which runs on IBM Power Systems. After we install AIX, we do number of post-install tasks, such as we set time zone, we NTP. So NTP is the network time provider. We schedule the performance data collection scripts such as nmons. Then we do security hardening. We set the performance tuning parameters, and we do many more settings. So these tasks take at least the 30 minutes for one VM or LPAR. If we are setting up around 100 LPARs, this would take around 50 hours for 100 LPARs. So this can be done in 5 minutes using Ansible. So 50 hours versus 5 minutes. So in this demo, we are going to see how we can do that. So the agenda of this session is going to be Ansible engine installation. So here we'll cover the Ansible engine installation on AIX, on RedHat Linux, on SUSE Linux, and even on Mac laptop. Then we'll cover the Python installation on AIX helpers. So the Python is required on Ansible endpoints or Ansible managed nodes, or we can say the Ansible client nodes. So even though we say Ansible is agentless, it does not require any agent. The Ansible requires the Python to be available on the nodes which it will be managing, because the Ansible modules are written in Python. And when we run the Ansible playbook, basically these Ansible modules are copied over SSH to the target LPARs, and it runs those modules on the. So we need the Python to be available on the target LPARs on which we are running the Ansible. Then we'll look into what does this playbook do. So we'll look into the detailed tasks that this playbook is doing. Then we'll look into how to run this playbook. And then we'll look into some of the community pages like Ansible Galaxy and GitHub, where we can find the resources available for the Ansible. So the resources, I mean, there are a lot of playbooks and the roles available for the Ansible in the Ansible Galaxy and GitHub. So let us start with Ansible engine installation. So first, let us start with Ansible engine installation on AIX. So if AIX system is connected to internet, then Ansible engine installation on AIX, it is straightforward. So we can do the Ansible installation using the yum. So just we can do the yum install Ansible, and that will install the Ansible. So for that, first we need to have the yum to be available on AIX. So for installing yum, we can go to this page. So there is a AIX toolbox for Linux website available. So we need to go to this page, download the yum.sh, install the yum first, and then we can install the Ansible using the yum. So let us go to this page. So here you will find the yum.sh. So you need to download this yum.sh, copy it to your AIX system, and then run it. So we'll not do a live run of this one because it will take 5 to 7 minutes of time. So what I'll do is I'll just show you the recording of this yum install. The Ansible installation will do the live, but the yum install will do the will see the recording. So here, this is my recording. So here I have copied, this is my AIX system. I have copied the m.sh to my AIX system. So let us play this one. So I'm checking whether the yum is already installed on this. So rpm-qa, no, yum not installed. So just you need to run this yum.sh. I am fast forwarding this. Okay. So here you can see that yum installed successfully. And then if I do the rpm-qa grep yum, so yum is installed. So once yum is installed, then let us go to the live system. I'm connecting to my AIX live system. Okay. So this is my AIX 7.2 system. rpm-qa grep yum. So here yum is installed. So for Ansible installation, it's a simple thing. I do yum install Ansible. So it's asking, do you want to install Ansible? I give yes, right? So it is downloading. It will download and install the Ansible. So this will take around 6 minutes. So while the installation goes on, let us look into how to install Ansible on other operating systems. We'll come back to this, the live installation after that. Now, if you want to install Ansible on SUSE Linux, and if you have the internet connectivity, you can do it using the pip. So pip is a Python installation utility. So for that, first you need to install the pip. So you can do the easy install pip. And then after that, so this will install the pip. And then after that, you can do the pip install Ansible. So this will install the Ansible on SUSE Linux. And if you want to install Ansible on RedHat Linux, so you need to create the EPEL repo. So for EPEL repo creation, you need to create a file in the yum repos.d, some name, something like epel.repo with the content similar to this. And then if you do the yum repo list, it will list the newly created repo. And then after that, you can do the yum install Ansible. So this will install the Ansible on Red Hat Linux. So in case, if you don't have the internet connectivity to the ELPAR, so in that case, you can manually download and install the Ansible. So for that, if it's a SUSE, then you can download the pip from this website, untar it, and then install the pip using this command, and then download the Ansible from this website, untar it, and then install the Ansible using this command. In case if you want to uninstall it, this is the command to uninstall the pip, and this is the command to uninstall the Ansible. So if you want to install Ansible on RHEL system, and if you don't have internet connectivity, then you can download the Ansible RPMs from one of the system, some other system which is connected to internet using the yum download only option. So this will download all the required binaries and all the dependencies into your local directory. You need to copy all those binaries into the Red Hat system where you want to install the Ansible, and create a local repo by giving that location as your the target location. So this will create a repo, local repo, and then install the Ansible using yum install Ansible. So like that, Ansible installation is a straightforward and it's a simple thing. And in case you want to install the Ansible on your the Mac system, Mac laptop, right? So it's a straightforward. You can do the pip install Ansible. So this will install the Ansible. So like this, the Ansible installation is a straightforward. You can do the Ansible installation in 10-15 minutes. And once Ansible is installed, you are ready to try out your first playbook. Now, once you install the Ansible, so your control node is ready. Now for your the Ansible client nodes or the endpoints, you need to have the Python to be installed on the endpoints of the Ansible client nodes. So here, if you are going to manage your AIX LPARs as the Ansible client nodes, you need to have the Python to be installed on. So for that, if you have the internet connectivity, you can simply do the yum install Python, that will install it. In case if you don't have the internet connectivity, then you need to download all these RPMs from the AIX toolbox for Linux website, and then you need to do the RPM-IVH and install these packages. Okay. Now let us look into what does this playbook do. Okay. So the playbook which we are going to look into, it does all these things. Okay. So first, it sets the basic AIX environment, which includes, it sets the time zone to Asia Kolkata. So the playbook has a variable section which you need to edit before running the playbook, and you need to set your own values. For example, for the time zone, you can set your own time zone, and then it configures the NTP. NTP is a network time provider, which is used for syncing the your system time to the network time. So you need to edit the variable section to update your NTP server address. Then it will create the file system called the IBM logs, and it schedules the nmon, and it puts the nmon outputs to IBM logs file system. So if somebody is new to AIX or nmon, so nmon is a performance data collection utility. So most of AIX people use the nmon for collecting the performance data. And it sets the OS file system sizes like TMP, home, IDM, so all those things to 10 GB each. So by default, these file system sizes are around 0.5 GB, which is very less, and this gets filled up quickly. So this Ansible playbook, it sets it to 10 GB. So if you want a different sizes, you can go and set it. And it sets up the syslogd. This is for the logging. And it sets the ulimit values to unlimited. So the some of the most useful ulimit values are the f size, which is the file system, the max file size. The default value of the file system size is 1 GB. That is, by default, you cannot create a file of size more than 1 GB. So you need to increase the f size parameter. So we set that parameter to the unlimited, so that you can create a file of up to 16 TB. And the other useful thing is the number of files, right? So that is the default per user is 2000. That will be set to unlimited. And then we set the max uproc value to 8092. So this is the maximum number of processes that a user can create. So default value is 40, that a user can create 40 processes. This we set it to 8092. And then we update the etc profile with set-ovi and set shty erase. So these are the editing options which most of system administrators use. And then we disable the security vulnerable services. So by default on AIX, this telnet, FTP, rexec, rsh, so these are enabled. So we disable these services because these are vulnerable services. And then we set the paging and dump device sizes. If the memory is less than 64 GB, we set it set the paging space to 16 GB. If the memory is more than 64 GB, we set the paging space to 32 GB. And then we set the system dump size to 2 into estimated dump device size, and we enable set the always take system to true. And then we set the SMT level to 8. So SMT is a hyper threading in power systems. So we can have the value of 1, 2, 4, and 8. And then we set the virtual FC adapter parameters. We set the physical FC adapter parameters. We set the disk attributes. We set the network parameters. We set the virtual Ethernet adapter parameters, and we set the IO parameters. So you can see that here we are setting around 18 or 19 parameters here, right? So if you do it manually, this will take at least half an hour per LPAR. And if you are setting it for around 100 LPAR, so this will take around 50 hours. So if you do use the Ansible, Ansible will go and set for hundreds of LPARs in 5 minutes. So we had submitted the Ansible installation. Let us check whether this installation is complete or not. Yes, the Ansible installation is complete. If I do Ansible --version, yes, it shows the Ansible version is 2.9.10. And if I do Ansible-m ping localhost, I'm just running the module called ping on a localhost on the same Ansible-m ping localhost. So I'm running the module called ping on the same host. So it says that the ping is success. So we did a yum install Ansible, and it downloaded the Ansible and it installed it. Installation was successful, and we checked the Ansible version, and then we checked the simple Ansible command to check whether Ansible is working or not.
Hey Rahul, just a quick reminder, we've got probably another couple of minutes for you to finish. Thank
Sure.
you.
Yeah. So now let us look into how to run the Ansible playbook. So now for running the Ansible playbook, I need two files. One is the playbook itself, and other is the inventory file. So let us look into how my inventory file look like. So inventory file is a file containing the list of the hosts on which I want to run the tasks. So I have given the one host information. If you want to run it on 100, you will give the 100 IP addresses here. So this is the IP address, followed by here I'm giving the username and password here. But if you are going to use the Ansible for like a regular basis, generally we set up the passwordless communication. And for running the playbook, so what we do is, so the command is Ansible playbook -i is the inventory file name, which we saw just now, and the playbook name. So let us run this playbook. So this playbook is running. So this will go and set all the values that we discussed on the system. So when the playbook is running, let us go and check how the playbook looks like. Is it easy or difficult to write this playbook? Right. So it is very easy to write the playbook. So even if you don't have any coding skills, you can easily go and start writing the playbook. So the playbook, it starts with the -- and the hyphen name colon is the name of the playbook. The hosts colon all is you are telling that you want to run this playbook on all the hosts listed in the inventory file, and gather facts equal to no. So when you run the playbook, by default, it will go and gather some information and store in some variables. And those variables you can use it in a playbook. In case if you are going to use those variables, you can give yes. Here I'm not using those variables, so I'm giving no. And under variable section, you can define the variables. For example, the NTP IP address I am defining, the sizes I am defining, the time zone I am defining, right? So these variables later I'll be using in my playbook. And all my tasks will go under the task section. So here, for example, and here this is a task 1. This is a task 2. So all tasks will be, it will get executed in a serial order. For example, so how do I know like how to write this code? So this is simple. So what I do is, so there is I go to the Ansible documentation. So here I want to use the time zone. So look for the time zone module. So this is called the module. So this is a time zone module documentation. So what I need to do is I just copy this content. There are examples given. I just copy this, paste it here, and then the time zone name, I replace this with a variable name. Rest everything remains same. So similarly, here I'm creating a file system, right? So for that, I am using a module called AIX file system. So again, I go here, I look for the AIX file system module. There are a lot of examples given here. So these examples are for creating the file system, for mounting the file system, etc. So here I'm giving the file system name, I'm giving the file system size, state equal to present on which VG. So like that. So it's the writing the playbook is very easy. Just you need to go copy paste the content from the examples, put it here, and you are ready to go. So let us see our playbook run is complete or not. Yes, playbook run is complete. So here you will find the output as a OK or changed. OK means it has not changed anything. So the value is already correct value. Changed means it has changed the value. Okay. So we know how to run the playbook now. And now the Ansible resources. So the lot of playbooks and roles are available in the Ansible Galaxy and GitHub. So let me show you the sites. You can just give a search for Ansible Galaxy AIX. So you will find the page where you will find the lot of the playbooks and the roles for the AIX. So for the backup or for the health check, for the user creation, and for the file system operations. So just you need to copy these contents and start using it. Right? So you can go and explore these modules. Yeah, so that's all I had. Thank you.